How are you doing, everyone? I am the Yu-Gi-Oh! Scrub, but please just call me Bailey, but only if you're subscribed. If you're not subscribed, you don't get to call me Bailey. Only if you're subscribed. That being said, today we are going to be playing a pretty fun deck. It is something I threw together. I think fun in the sense of, like, it's a fun gimmick. Definitely not good. You can see it right here. We'll talk about it at the end. I apologize. I keep forgetting the name. I've read the comment like 20 minutes ago, but I can't remember who commented it. They want to see penguins. They keep asking to see penguins, and I will do it. It's on my drop-down list of all my decks. It's being built. I just can't get this crap to work. It's really not a great deck, but it's very fun. I mean, I love the idea of just using these tiny little penguins that are kind of cute old cards, but actually have like some relatively powerful effects. But you have a deck list, please put that in the comments, maybe just like the DB link, and I'll take a look at it, do some edits. I won't just like net deck the whole thing, but I'm trying to get it to work. But that being said, let's quickly, before we go into the game, just read Penguin Knight here, because I love, this might be my new, like, favorite, just old, bad worded card. When this card is sent directly from your deck to the graveyard by an effect of a card controlled by your opponent. Like, first off, what's that? Not your opponent's card. The effect of a card controlled by your opponent. Weird as hell. Unite your graveyard cards and your own deck. Shuffle them and form a new deck. What? Unite your graveyard cards and your own deck. So not your opponent's deck. You're not uniting. First off, like, unite. I like how they make it seem like this is just a term, like, oh, unite. This is a thing, problem-solving card text. It's on other cards. No, I've never seen the term unite your graveyard cards and deck. Like, it's just so bad. I get what they wanted it to be, just kind of like you put your deck and your graveyard together, shuffle it, now, ooh, you have your deck again. But it's just confusing. I love it. Let's actually go and play some Yu-Gi-Oh! Though, so we're not doing it. Yes, let's save the changes as well. Also, you can see I misspelled direct attack only. So basically, you can also get the idea of this deck was going to be like direct attacks. So hopefully we'll see it. It kind of turned into a little bit like my Lava Golem control burn, where I just use level limit area B and gravity bind to make it so my opponent can't attack with the Lava Golem I give them. Except here, rather than focus on like controlling the Lava Golem burn aspect, it's more focused on Solar Flare Dragon and Raging Flame Sprite. Raging Flame Sprite being able to attack directly, gaining 1,000 every single time it successfully attacks directly. And then the Solar Flare Dragon is basically, what's the card? Kind of like Command Knight, or what are the cards that's like, if you have two of them on the field, you can't attack? The best one may be like the, not Substa Frog, what's the freaking Dupe Frog lock, where if you have two Dupe Frogs, you can't attack either one. Basically trying to do that with Solar Flare Dragon, though it also works, because like, say you have a Raging Flame Sprite that's attacked twice, it's now 2,100 or 3,100. It's a Pyro, so your opponent has to attack a really big monster before it can get over the Solar Flare Dragon. UFO Turtle in here because it can float into a bunch of cards. Cyber Jar as well because it can just get a bunch of things on the field pretty quickly. I'm just going to set, or maybe I'll summon the UFO Turtle. I'm a little afraid of like a Nobleman a Crossout. Actually, I'll set it because if he does have knock, then it'll get rid of that for the Cyber Jar. So I'll set the UFO Turtle, and I'll set Ring of Destruction at an end. I don't want to go too heavy with my back row. One, I want him to attack into the UFO Turtle, so why would I use Level Limit Area or Gravity Bind? And two, I don't have anything to back up, like a Judgment to stop any Heavy Storms or True Nades, and so I don't want to set more than one card. And Ring of Destruction is chainable, so it's probably the best one to set. I also think it's funny, as I was talking about penguins, he's now using the Penguin Soldier card. I also love Penguin Soldier. Like, I think it's such a cute card. Still rocking my dandy sleeves. How was everyone's day today? Hope it's going great. If not, stop watching my video, then come back once your day is good. And I'd like if this man can click your turn. Hello? I mean, you also went first. It's not even like I went and like he just accidentally like clicked, oh, like game ready. Okay, there we go. Don't know what's going on. Alright, Koichi. A-okay. Can't do much about that. Hopefully he does attack into the Pyramid Turtle. Yeah, I'm fine with getting True Nated. Parshath. Alright. To Grave, so that would be 9 or 700 damage. And I'm going to get... What do I want? I think now, because he's already used a True Nade, I'll go for a Raging Flame Sprite. And I can start doing some attack direct damage. Okay, so he has a Swords of Revealing Light. Little strange. I'm just going to set both of these, Gravity Bind and Sakuretsu, because if he attacks, then I'll use the Parshath. But if he doesn't, then I'll do something else. And Ring of Destruction plus Sakuretsu can obviously get rid of 2 monsters. True Nade, I'm going to get rid of his Parshath. So he had another True Nade, and that does kind of suck for his Swords of Revealing Light, because he'll be able to get more uses out of that. But I have Cyber Jar, so I'm not too afraid that he has a Raging Flame Sprite. So he's playing like a Bazoo. It looks like probably Bazoo with a bunch of removal, and he's going to Defusion. Yep. So is this going to be game? It might be. So he's at, what's that? 1922. So 18 plus 2200 plus 1400. All right, so he did get the game 1 win there. Maybe bring in the Kaikus. Get rid of the Noblemans. And bring in Magic Jammer. I do have one Ultimate Baseball Kid, just because I want to have an excuse to put it in the deck, and it's kind of an alternative target for the UFO Turtle, though frankly it's probably the worst target in the deck. Alright. Opening hand, 2 Raging Flame Sprites, Ring of Destruction, Sangan, Lava Golem, Pot of Greed. I'm just going to do a T-set pass. Alright, he sets a monster of his own in 1 trap. Okay, so we each T-set pass for our first turn. Shuffle hand. Yeah, I'll Pot of Greed. Maybe I should have waited a second just in case he did have a Judgment, but probably not. Alright, and then from here, because I have a Sangan set, I'm not afraid of Torrential. I'm going to go ahead and normal summon Raging Flame Sprite and attack directly. And now I will put 1 token on there. Activate Area B. And I'll set Judgment as well, just in case a True Nade or Heavy Storm. So this is basically the deck. Sangan, which is most people's best level 3 or lower attacker, can now no longer get over the Raging Flame Sprite. Discard. Yeah, I'll let that go through. Literally no reason to stop that. I have another one in hand. So he just didn't want it getting out of control. Of course, I draw my body as a shield right now. Let's go ahead and normal summon it. Attack directly. And do I set my body as a shield? No, I don't. If he has Lightning Storm or Lightning Vortex, whatever. I mean, that would have to be like a Magician of Faith set face down. It will make him discard another card. Okay, so that's what, 1, 2, 3, that's 1200. Yeah, I'll eat the damage. Thinking. Yeah, I'll take it. He's probably gonna try to attack over or attack the Raging Flame Sprite, and I'll Ring of Destruction the Des Koala. From there, yeah, I'm gonna Judgment. I need to. So that would put me at 34 and then 1100. All right. Next, I will go ahead and normal summon Solar Flare Dragon, set, and this is in defense. Forgot because it's level 4. And because of that, let's just attack directly. And I think just end the turn. Just setting all my monsters, because if that's another Des Koala, he won't be able to do anything with it. This is going to be sick. This is why my body is a shield. Incredible card. Okay. Let's see. I am pretty low on life points, but I can't do much about that. And passing back over to him, he'll take another 500. So if he doesn't beat me this turn, and he can't get rid of any of my monsters, I will win. Snatch, steal. I have to Sakuretsu armor this. I don't have a choice. Alright. And stand by main. Let's get rid of both of his monsters, which were... Okay, those are really big hits. And end phase, he'll take 500. And end turn. Alright. He's got one more turn after this. Standby. He'll take 1,000 from the Lava Golem. I kind of had a figure that that middle set was a Des Koala. The way he was playing it, he basically seemed like he was waiting for me to get the damage. Alright, and he's going to Heavy Storm. Unfortunately, that will get rid of everything. And I think I actually win here. Pretty sure he can't do enough damage. And standby. Yep, I get game 1. Or game 2, I mean. Now what? I do definitely want to bring those back in. Let's get rid of one Magic Jammer, one thing in the crater. I don't want to give him cards with my Cyber Jar. He's running a Cyber Jar too, so I think that getting rid of mine, especially if I'm going to be going second. It'd be one thing if I could go first, set it, and kind of set myself up for a really powerful game or turn 2. But I think right now the Magic Jammer, just being able to stop like a big True Nade that he's going to use. The Royal Decree also has me a little afraid, I'll give him that. UFO Turtle, Magic Jammer, Sakuretsu, Kaiku, and Raging Flame Sprite is my opening hand. Now, Solar Flare Dragon as well. Um, I'd say... Do I go with Kaiku first? No, I think I'm going to go with the smaller monster. And I'm just going to set the Magic Jammer. I want this to be destroyed by battle, so why would I stop it? Think. That is fine. You could be like, I should get rid of it, but Judgment is a 1-for-1. This would basically be a 2-for-1, so it's kind of like he's still getting the plus anyways from the Pot of Greed. And I wanted him to attack over the UFO turtle, so then Solar Flare Dragon would get more effects. Let's blind MST. Alright. Still better than a MSTing a little early, or prematurely, I guess I should say. I think let's just go like this. Yeah. It's probably going to be like a... Yep, exactly what I thought. So, eat 1,200. And let's just end. Heavy Storm. Yeah. Why would I negate it? He's discarding Demok. He's got a weird deck. And what's he going to pick up? Pot of Greed. Graceful Charity now. I'll give him. He's kind of an interesting deck. I kind of like the concept, like a weird burn. Did he just draw 4? Activated. Okay, no, he drew 3. Just gotta make sure. And sorry about that, guys. Stupid, what is that? I don't know what button you click, but the code comes up on the side. Ruining my video. And yep, is he just gonna have everything he needs right here? So it's 2,500. Defusion. Yeah, and that's gonna be enough. Alright, let's go and talk about the deck. I'm not even gonna give him... Call me rude. I'm not gonna give him time to say GG's or anything. Honestly, that was a pretty good match. I think it is relatively telling of how like most games and matches of this deck would go. You're probably not going to win, especially when you're going up against something like Lightning Storm, I keep saying Lightning Storm, Lightning Vortex, Heavy Storm, Giant True Nades especially, because you need your things to keep going, but that's why we have the Magic Jammers in the side deck. But I think you got to see kind of what it's supposed to do. Basically, Raging Flame Sprite, Solar Flare, Dragon Control, using the 2 Area B and Gravity Binds, basically just level 4 and higher monsters are useless, and you try to abuse some really interesting level 3 monsters, like Raging Flame Sprite, which has 100 attack, but give it 2 turns, and all of a sudden you basically have a 2,100 direct attacker, and it can be pretty powerful. UFO turtles, just because, like I said, you're trying to float into either of these pyro monsters, and so you want something that can float into them. Obviously, recruiters, UFO turtle, the fire recruiter. It's just standard. The Thing in the Crater, I do love this card for the artwork. I think it's a really interesting artwork. And it's basically there to just, if you need to, you can float it from UFO turtle. Maybe it'll get attacked into, and then you can float into like a Solar Flare Dragon that was in your hand. It might be useful. Thing probably could get cut, and it wouldn't be that big of a deal. One Ultimate Baseball Kid, just because it's a fun card. I like the idea of Ultimate Baseball Kid, but it doesn't really fit with the strategy of this deck. It is a level 3, which is why it kind of does, because like it will get under the Airy and Gravity Bind, and if you have a Lava Golem on your opponent's side of the field, maybe a UFO Turtle or a Raging Flames, right, like one of the two, or maybe you have your lock with Solar Flare Dragon, this thing can get pretty big and beefy, but like, is it really worthwhile? Like, is it that good? Not really. You basically would rather it just be a Raging Flame Sprite to start attacking directly. Lava Golem, great card, fun card. I like it. Burn. I also love the art. I just like love the idea. And in the anime as well, where I believe was it Yugi or Joey, one of them was like in the cage. I thought that was so sick. To me, that's just like how it feels. Like when you have Lava Golem on your opponent's side of the field, it's like you're putting them in the cage, and Lava Golem's just like slowly consuming them. You got Sangan and Cyberjar. Cyberjar is a card that I'm really growing on and liking in certain decks. I like them, or I like Cyberjar in decks where you want to kind of build a combo field where you want a couple monsters on your side of the field that will work with each other. So basically, I can try to make sure it goes off on my turn through cards like Sakuretsu Armor, Widespread Ruin, and Airy and Gravity Bind, so my opponent won't be able to flip it with an attack on their turn. Then my turn comes, I'll flip it, destroy both fields, but then I can maybe set up my Raging Flame Sprite, Solar Flare Dragon lock without even using a normal summon, and that's why I really like Cyberjar. You also got the Sword of Revealing Light, just because it's a stall deck, it's a slow deck, so you want to make sure your opponent can't attack. Pot of Greed, Graceful, Heavy Storm, Snatch, Premature, MST. You guys obviously know why it's there. Then you saw what? The clutch card. My Body is a Shield. I was thinking about making this Book of Moon, because like, well, you know, want something, so say like I attack with Raging Flame Sprite and they Sakuretsu Armor or Mirror Force, well, I want something that will be able to, like, keep that alive. But the problem with Book of Moon is, okay, I flip my Raging Flame Sprite face down, and now if I flip it back up next turn, it's, one, another summon, so say I have my Solar Flare Dragon lock, it gives him an opportunity to Torrential, and two, it would put it back down to 100 attack. So I really was like, I want a card that will make it so, like, I don't have to do any of that again. And My Body as a Shield is the perfect card for that, because it negates not only Mirror Force and Sakuretsu Armor, but you also saw it negate a Tribe Infecting Virus, which was clutch as hell that game. It negates and destroys, really powerful card. 2 Noblemen across out, just a staple in GOAT format. Mirror Force, Ring of Destruction, no Torrential because we have a lot of board setup we want to do. Why would we want to get rid of it with our own Torrential? 3 Sakuretsu Armor, 2 Widespread Ruin, a little redundant, but I really just want to make sure that my monsters stay on the field and yours don't. And then 3 Solemn Judgments. I'd say if there's any changes, I probably would maybe change like the 2 Widespread Ruin and maybe the Sakuretsu Armors, maybe cut down to like 2 Sakuretsu and try to find some other cards to put in there. But I made this deck pretty quickly. Side deck is pretty irrelevant, but the 1 Penguin Knight, just because I wanted to talk about it at the beginning of the game, or beginning of the video. 3 Deswombat, Kaikus, Compulse really if I just ran to like 1000 Dice Restricts, Light of Intervention for set monsters, Magic Jammer for what you saw if we run into True Nades, and then the last Widespread Ruin. Frankly, don't even bother with a side deck in this deck. It's not worthwhile. Don't play this deck. Just play it for fun. Don't even worry about trying to win by like siding into good cards. Thank you all for watching, though. Hopefully I'll have a Penguin video at some point in like the relatively near future. For the one who keeps requesting me to play a Penguin deck, please send it. Just put it in the DB link, like, in the comments, and I'll click on it, and I'll see if I can build a Penguin deck and use your deck as some inspiration, because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Nightmare Penguin is just like 200 more attack for water monsters. I'm like, it's just a bad water monster. It's like you're trying so hard just to make penguins work that you're building a terrible deck. But I mean, you already see what I'm playing. I'm playing terrible decks anyways. I've been rambling for a while now. Thank you all for watching. I am the Yu-Gi-Oh! Scrub. Remember to hit the sub button, and goodbye.